My name is Hubert Schiffer. I am a Jesuit priest. I was born in Germany, and in my youth I answered God's call to become a priest. I was sent as a missionary to Japan to a beautiful city called Hiroshima. It was a city of flowing rivers, blooming cherry blossoms, and warm-hearted people. I loved that city dearly, until August 6, 1945. The story I am about to tell you today is my direct experience. Nothing has been fabricated. It was documented by the U.S. Department of Defense, published in medical journals, and investigated by hundreds of scientists. Yet it remains a story that no one has been able to explain. I was only 800 meters away from the epicenter of the atomic bomb, and I survived. Please listen until the end. This story might change your life tonight. It was the night of August 5th, 1945. The summer in Hiroshima was breathtakingly hot. Even the breeze coming through the rectory window felt scorched. I couldn't sleep well. I walked down the hallway, clutching my rosary and praying. There wasn't a special reason that night, it was simply a habit. Ever since I first learned of the message of Our Lady of Fatima, I made the Daily Rosary the rhythm of my life. I did it as naturally as breathing or eating. Dawn passed and morning came. It was the morning of August 6th. It was a dazzlingly clear day. The sky was so blue it felt almost surreal. The 8 of us gathered at the rectory table. I could smell the freshly baked bread. Someone opened a window, letting in a breeze. There was a rosary on the table. As we always did before a meal, we prayed the rosary together. We finished the prayer and I reached for a piece of bread. That was when it happened. 8:15 a.m. The world exploded into white. The flash came first. An intense, blinding white light swallowed the world, so strong you couldn't keep your eyes open. That light wasn't just light, it was heat, 6,000 degrees Celsius. Heat equivalent to the surface of the sun engulfed all of Hiroshima. Then came the shock wave. The rectory building shook violently. The sound of walls collapsing, glass shattering, and things pouring down from everywhere. All those sounds hit at once, and then suddenly the world went silent. I was lying on the floor. I don't know how much time had passed. I opened my eyes. The air was thick with dust. It was hard to breathe. Looking around, I saw parts of the ceiling had collapsed and the walls were cracked. But I was alive. I moved my hands and feet. They worked. I tried to stand up. I could. I called out to my fellow priests. 1, 2, 3. Everyone answered. All 8 of us were alive. We looked at each other in silence. We didn't know what to say. We just looked at each other's faces, confirming that we were alive. We stepped outside the building. I will never forget that moment for as long as I live. Hiroshima was gone. The entire city had vanished. The streets I looked at this morning, the buildings, the people, everything was gone. All I could see were ruins, smoke, and flames. And the people, the survivors. People walking with their skin peeling off, people groping around because they couldn't see, people just sitting there, unable to move. I walked toward them. From that day on, the 8 of us worked without rest to care for the injured. We wiped away blood, held their hands, and prayed for them. A few days passed like that. Then, something strange began to happen. The survivors of Hiroshima began to collapse one by one. Their hair fell out. Extreme vomiting began. Purple spots appeared on their skin. These were the symptoms of radiation poisoning. Those who had survived the blast were now dying from radiation. But the 8 of us were different. We had no symptoms. Not a single strand of hair fell out. No vomiting. No spots. There was absolutely no sign of radiation sickness. Doctors came. They examined us. They tilted their heads in confusion. They examined us again. Still, they were baffled. It made no sense. We were only 800 meters from the epicenter. There were others who survived the initial blast at that distance, but every single one of them developed radiation symptoms. Only we did not. After the war, the U.S. Department of Defense sent an investigation team. Dozens of scientists sought us out. They took blood samples. They examined our cells. They performed every test imaginable. Their conclusion was one: it is inexplicable. They called us the miracle of Hiroshima. They said our survival was impossible according to the laws of physics. Science could never provide an answer as to why the radiation did not affect us. But I knew the answer. A scientist once asked me, "What on earth did you do to survive?" I told him, "We prayed the rosary together every day. That is all." The scientist stared at me for a long time and left without a word. I still remember his eyes, the eyes of someone who wanted to deny it but couldn't. Why us? I carried this question with me for a long time. Was it because we were exceptionally holy? No. We were sinful humans like anyone else. Was it because we were exceptionally brave? No. At the moment of the explosion, we were terrified. I found the answer in the fields of Fatima in 1917. In 1917, in a small village in Portugal called Fatima, there were 3 young shepherds, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta. The Virgin Mary appeared to these children for 6 months, on the 13th of every month. At that time, World War I was at its height. All of Europe was burning. Millions were dying. Mothers were weeping for their sons, and wives were collapsing over the loss of their husbands. In that horrific era, Our Lady said, "Pray the rosary every day. Pray for the end of the war. Pray for the conversion of sinners. Pray for families." This was the message of Fatima. It was simple. It wasn't grand. There were no difficult theological terms. It was simply an invitation to hold the beads and pray every day. I encountered this message as a young priest and accepted it into my life. I prayed the rosary every day. The 8 of us in the rectory did it together. Whether the day was good or bad, whether we were tired or not, we did it like a habit. And on August 6, 1945, heaven kept its promise. Our Lady had said, "I will protect those who pray the rosary." We believed those words. And on the day the atomic bomb fell, we were under that protection. This is not just a matter of my personal faith. It is a medically verified fact. It is a reality that science could not explain. It is history recorded in documents. I lived for many decades after that. I traveled the world sharing this testimony. I spoke before countless people. Some believed and some doubted. But an interesting thing kept happening. People who started praying the rosary after hearing my testimony would come to find me. They shared their own stories. Someone who was diagnosed with an incurable disease but was completely healed. A family on the brink of collapse that was miraculously restored. Someone who lost everything in a failed business but found a breakthrough. They all had one thing in common. They picked up the rosary. Without giving up, they held the beads in their hands and prayed every day. Listening to their stories, I thought the same thing every time the miracle of Hiroshima wasn't just a story for August 6, 1945. The promise of Fatima wasn't only valid for that one day. It is a promise that is alive even now. Dear brothers and sisters, do you feel as if an atomic bomb has dropped on your life right now? Did you receive terrifying news from the hospital? Has a loved one left your side? Are you buried under a mountain of debt? Are you worried about your children? Is your loneliness so deep that tonight feels far too long? I know how heavy that weight is. In Hiroshima, I saw an entire city vanish. I saw healthy people turn to ash in an instant. In the midst of that, I was powerless. There was nothing I could do. It was a situation beyond human strength. But at that moment, heaven moved. All I did was hold the rosary. All I did was pray every day. I simply held on to that promise without giving up. And that was enough. Is there a rosary sleeping in your drawer, deep in your closet, or in a box you received from your mother? Is there one you received at your baptism, but have never used? Or one you bought on a pilgrimage that is now gathering dust on a bookshelf? Take it out now. Tonight, before you go to sleep, just once, hold it in your hand. You don't have to memorize everything perfectly. It's okay if your pronunciation is wrong. It's okay if your posture isn't perfect. Just hold it and pray. Heaven does not wait for a perfect prayer. It waits for the person who reaches out their hand without giving up. Just as we did in the rectory in Hiroshima, just as the little shepherds did in Fatima. I still pray the rosary every single day. As I age and my body isn't what it used to be, I never let go of the rosary. I haven't missed a single day since August 6, 1945, and I never will. I have one request for you. Please leave your name in the comments today. Leave your prayer intentions. Write about the difficulties you are facing and what you need prayers for. Brothers and sisters all over the world who see this video will pray for you. Just as we held our rosaries together in that Hiroshima rectory, we will pray together now. You are not alone. Even in the heart of hell, the hand that holds the rosary was not burned. Tonight may your hand be the same. May the intercession of Our Lady of Fatima and the peace of the Lord be with you always. Amen.